Yeah, well, 3 in the morning, it's early. I'm reminded of the great movie Moonstruck. Cher's talking to her father early in the movie. He's an old guy, and he looks terrible, so she says, "You sleeping okay?" And he goes, "I can't sleep anymore. It's too much like death." While that's true, and I know exactly what he means, it is also true that 3 in the morning, being awake and trying to go catch an airplane, is pretty much like death too. But here I am, trying to get to San Francisco for a psychoanalytic conference with a bunch of colleagues, but I'm telling you, it's a chore. I have figured something out, though. At least in my better moments, I've got it figured out. And that is that rather than feeling deprived when you have to do something you don't really want to do that much, better to look for something good. And it sounds like the stupidest thing you've ever heard, but it's true. And I can feel it with respect to this trip, this 3 in the morning thing. You know, one of my principles for happiness is to try not to focus on how much like death it is, and try to focus on looking for the life in a situation. And as corny as that sounds, it kind of works. You know, my doctor told me recently that he thought I was poisoning myself with salt. I love salt, and I salt things way too much. And okay, I try to listen to people who know things myself, and so I decided I'm not adding any salt to anything. And I discovered I can find a salty taste. It doesn't have to beat me over the head. It can be just a low dose. And I can find that and love it. I'm looking for something better than whatever it is that I'm depriving myself of. I'm letting something go for a bigger purpose, and I'm enjoying that bigger purpose. Again, it sounds preachy, but it's kind of true. And you can look for what you can enjoy. The reason it sounds preachy is it sounds a little bad. So, well, look on the bright side, and walk on the sunny side of the street. Who likes a person like that? Most of us don't. But there's some truth in it, and the reason I bring any of that up is this is like this. Right? I'm going to a conference that I want to go to, and I want to see people and talk to them, and learn new things, and expose myself to a diversity of ideas. It's great, but getting there is another story, especially at this hour. In the airplane, as I've mentioned before, I love flying airplanes, and here's what I like. One thing, when you start the takeoff roll, your airplane is at the numbers on the runway, and you start going faster and faster, and the airplane is now bumping and jiggling on its wheels, which it's never really meant to be on, and you just reach the speed where any other vehicle would be out of control. If you're in a car, you roll the thing or spin out off the runway or something, and the airplane feels that way too. But just at that moment, you pull up on the flight yoke, and you make a transition from a land vehicle to an aircraft. And it's in that moment that everything changes. It's quieter, it's smoother. The airplane is doing what it was born to do. And I love that so much that it almost brings tears to my eyes. So here we are here. That's why I just couldn't resist filming some of that. So I decided to focus on that, and now I'm happy, and I'm making this flight and can't wait to arrive in San Francisco. You can choose a different path if you can get a little distance from yourself, and it only takes a little, or it takes something like the airplane takeoff, or just a little something to find some joy in it. I don't think I'm telling anybody anything they don't already know, but I'm reminding myself is what I'm really doing here. Okay.